Okay, let's go. Alright, let's go. Hey, follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. Follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. That's right.
From Facebook to YouTube, TikTok to IG, all you see is laughing face emojis, LOLs and ha-ha to see. Subscribe to YouTube, you know we
follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. Follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. Follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. Follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. Follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. Follow the laughter. Hey, follow the laughter. That's right. That's right.
There are a few things that I'm not sure how I feel about anymore. Stuff I used to be able to give a definite answer to in the past. Maybe you will better understand with a few examples of what I mean. When I was younger, I would drive around the town in my green Chrysler Sebring convertible. I loved this car. I would drop the top and let my music blast out, feeling like the man riding around. You know, I would make sure I queued up my music too before I pulled off. Something that set the mood. One time, I was just riding around like any other day. I came to a red light at an intersection. A minivan pulled up beside me and the big side door slid open, just like in the movies. They caught me slipping. I thought some fools were going to jump out, grab me, and throw me in a van or something. I looked over and there was a lady squatting in the back. There were no seats in the back. She looked at me and said, "You want to have a threesome?" The light turned green and they drove off. I was shocked. Not because of the question. I've been asked the question before. I was shocked from what I saw in the van. In the driver's seat was another lady. Both of the ladies looked to be in their mid-30s. The lady squatting in the back was holding a young child, maybe 1 or 2 in age. They both looked and smiled at me and slid the huge side door closed before driving off. I had so many questions. Why were they driving around surveying dudes for sex? Where were the seats for the back of the van? Were they having threesomes in the back of the van? Was that why the seats were removed? Was she squatting the whole time back there? Was it leg day or something? Lastly, and probably the most important one, why was she holding a baby? Was the baby supposed to be persuading guys into accepting the proposal? Another thing I used to feel sure about was being able to tell the difference between a fart and a shit release. What is a shit release, you ask? It is a shit that disguises itself as a fart, but is a full-on unstoppable shit. I had a hard time telling the difference as a child. As a child, have you ever been sitting in the tub playing, having a good time, and feel a fart coming on? As a child, you let it loose without thinking twice about it. Bubbles rise to the top of the water, giving you that cheap hot tub jacuzzi effect. Yeah, I did this once, thought I was about to get some hot tub bubbles. Nope, it was a shit release. Now I was there sitting in dirty, shitty tub water, confused as shit, literally. My mom was like, "Boy, you supposed to take a bath to get clean, not to get E. coli." Decoding farts from shits is a hard thing for a child, especially in the morning time when you have to get ready for school, the dilemma to shit and miss the bus or not miss the bus and hold it until you get to school. You realize how many speed bumps your city really has when you are holding your shit all the way to school. I was going to gamble it. I was going to try to hold it until I got to school. I've done it before, and plus, I was not going to miss the bus again. My mom was going to whoop my ass if I missed the bus again. I don't know about you, but getting an ass whooping while having to shit or right after shitting was worse than those speed bumps. I threw on my book bag and started making my way to the bus stop at the front of the apartment complex. About halfway there, I was regretting my decision. I didn't fully evaluate the weight of the book bag and the big hill I had to walk up to get to the entrance of the neighborhood. The journey is much faster in a car. I underestimated my ability to hold it in. I thought, okay, maybe it is just pressure buildup, and if I slow release with little poots, then it will buy me more time. I let the first poot out. Okay, that helped a little. I felt better. Maybe I could make it. I let another out and another. I got this. Wait a minute. Something didn't feel right. I felt the back of my pants getting tighter and heavier. Did I just shit myself? It happened so fast. I was like, what do I do? At this moment, I was at the midway point from my house and the bus stop.
Checkpoint.
If I went back home, I'll miss the bus and I couldn't get on the bus with a shitty booty. Sitting in shit the whole ride to school smelling like horse ass.
What does that smell?
Luckily, there was a clubhouse ahead of me on the left. I ran in there, found the bathroom, closed the stall door, and got totally bottom half ass naked, making sure not to get shit on any other items of my clothes. I cleaned myself, then I pulled 120 sheets of toilet paper to wrap my underwear like a shitty mummy burrito and threw it in the trash can. I then washed the shit out of my hands, literally. Then I ran to the bus stop, just in time to make the bus and finish out the day commando style. Lastly, I got married and divorced at a young age. Do I regret it? Funny thing? No. I feel like there are certain things we have to go through in life to help us grow and become who we need to be. It's like what the old folks used to say. It's better to make mistakes while you're young with time than when you're old and dying. When you are young, dumb, and full of cum, you tend to make many mistakes in life. At this point of time, I was full of cum, and there was many mistakes accumulating. A few of my friends were going to drive down to Miami where the wedding would be. We were always up for a road trip. At this point, I have driven all over Florida. Now, this sounds like a fun thing initially, but my friends and I drove only in-town cars. Not those nice black cars that chauffeurs drive, but cars suited for 30-minute driving intervals to an Atlanta club and back home. Not a 9+ hour road trip. My boy had an old school all black Chevy Tahoe. We loaded this bad boy up and hit the road. The only thing was that the back end of the car would wiggle when it came to a stop or was going too fast. And this was the best of our cars, even though it would twerk like Magic City Girl. Then there was my car. The only thing is, When it would rain, the car would fill up with water because the convertible top seal was old and would not keep water out anymore. And the passenger side door had to be opened from the outside. So if you rode with me, you would have to roll down the window to let yourself out of the car. Now add rain to the scenario, 3 to 4 inches of water at your feet while being hit in the face with a hurricane when trying to get out of the car. Doesn't seem like a fun ride now. I would have to check the weather for sure to see what type of ride it was going to be. Back to the trip. So we made it down to Miami the night before my wedding. We were young dudes in Miami for the first time for my wedding, so that meant bachelor party time. Something small though. We started pre-gaming with some Jack and Coke, the official drink of most of my 20s. Then we headed to Hooters to get some fried shrimp, wings, drinks, and titties. We got so messed up, we were driving around Miami the entire night trying to find a beach. Spoiler alert, we never found the beach either.
The beach.
Eventually, we just gave up and went back to our hotel to call it a night. I woke up the next morning feeling like shit, obviously. My homeboy was like, "This will help." He handed me a shot of Jack. I didn't know any better, and I took it like a dummy. Okay, cool, thanks. We drove to a Dominican barbershop to get my hair cut. Freshest lineup I ever gotten, by the way. One of my other homies decided after most of us finished our cuts that he wanted to get his hair cut. Now, this wouldn't be that bad if he didn't have a big ass bowling ball head that he wanted to get cut and shaved. So now we are running a little behind schedule for my wedding due to his haircut. Now we were back in the car heading towards the church. I started feeling hot, sweaty, and sick all of a sudden. Now, most people may be thinking getting hungover drunk the night before your wedding is a bad idea. And they would be right. But eating Hooters the night before a big day is also a bad idea. And I did them both together. Anyone that has ever eaten one of Hooters' buffalo items knows what I mean. I told my homie driving to pull over at McDonald's coming up on the right. I felt a strong, overwhelming urge to shit. Now I'm running through the Mickey D's cafe in a tux, straight to the restroom. I am trying to pull off all of these wedding layers so I could shit. It seems like I had 100 layers on. All of the buttons and zippers seem to not want to be undone. I'm not sure if you have ever been in this position, but you may be able to hold the urge to shit for hours. But once you get in a bathroom, your ability to hold it any longer will be around 5%. Long story short, I ended up shitting myself again. In my head, I was like, not again. It brought me back to when I was a kid trying to make it to the school bus.
Almost.
Now I was back in the bathroom with shit-filled drawers, having to get totally bottom butt naked. I cleaned up and created another mummy-wrapped shit burrito, threw it in the bathroom trash, and ran back to the car to rush to the church. My homies were like, "You getting cold feet?" I was thinking, it's not my feet that's cold, it's my ass now that I am commando in rental wedding wear. We finally get to the church, and after greeting everyone, the ceremony starts, and I head to the front of the pulpit. The music starts, and the groomsmen and the bridesmaids make their way to the front as well. The music changed. Everyone stood up as my soon-to-be ex-wife came down the aisle. Now we're standing there face to face as one of her cousins was singing. I'm not sure if she was trying to get signed, but she performed 5 songs while we just stood there awkwardly waiting for someone to get her off the mic. She was up there so long, one of the big girl bridesmaids fainted because she hasn't eaten all morning. It took 6 ushers to help her up.
Get her leg.
Now, sitting in the
leg.
front row, one of the ushers found some communion crackers for her to eat.
Here, eat these.
One of the groomsmen locked their legs and ended up falling into the aisle, hitting a decorative column, knocking the candles off onto the flower floor runner. These dry flowers caught fire quick. The first 5 rows of people were scrambling as the sprinkler system came on. The ushers once again sprung into action, trying to put out the fire. With half of our guests now wearing white baptism towels, we were able to get to the vows and the I do's. Next part, now party time. No bubble burst. The reception was more of the same. The dress the mother of the bride wore got caught on a catering cart and 18% of the back was ripped off. It looked like a fancy onesie butt flap. The girls formed a mosh pit and rushed to catch the flowers for the bouquet toss. 3 of them in particular came in way too hot and could not stop their kinetic energy and crashed into the cake table, destroying the cake. Ironically, none of them caught the bouquet. The guys had a whole strategy to run away from the garter toss. One guy ended up like the girls, except instead of hitting the cake table, he ran into the DJ's booth, knocking one of his front teeth out. The icing on the cake was that one of the uncles got drunk and started hitting on all of the young girls at the wedding. The kicker, the young women were all related to him. After all of these signs, we still went through with it. But what did I learn? Mixing whiskey and Hooters are always a bad idea. Breakfast is an important meal, and not to lock your legs when standing for a long period. Also, move at a controlled speed on slick floors and to drink responsibly.
Okay, let's go.
Booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, let go. Booty ass out, booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got the booty ass out, booty ass out, let go. Booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got the booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got the booty ass out. Booty ass out, booty ass out, got the booty ass out, got the booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got the booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got the booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got the booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got the booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Drop it. Booty ass out, booty ass out, watch out. Booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Girl, you better do it. Ass out, booty ass out, let go. Booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the shout. They got the booty ass out, booty ass out, booty ass out, got the booty ass shout. They got that booty ass out, booty ass out. Booty ass out, booty, little mama got that booty ass out. Drop it. Booty ass out, drop it. Booty ass out. Booty, big girls got the booty ass out. Booty ass out, drop it. Booty ass out, like the strip clubs in the south. Got that booty ass out. Booty ass out, circle. Booty ass out, booty ass out. Throw it. Booty ass out, throw it. Booty ass out, booty ass out. Got the booty ass out. booty ass out. Better do it, get